What is Xbox doing? Let's talk about it.
Many of you have had a week to kind of uh, take in a lot of information of what just happened with the layoffs at Microsoft and Xbox. And this one particular, because it's definitely not the first, um, I had to let sit for a second because a lot of people that I know personally were impacted by this one. Great projects were canceled, and there's a ton of people who are going to have to enter the job market in a time where, especially in gaming and tech, it's extremely hard to find a position. Um, so I definitely wanted to sit on this, kind of come in at with a more level head. But as an Xbox fan, it's becoming harder and harder to continue to support what they're doing. But it's also hard because there are still thousands of people that work under that umbrella. And what does the um, ending of support means? But that'll be a totally different subject. The first thing I want to talk about are the canceled projects that we know of, and some which are extremely surprising. Um, so let's start with the shutting down of the initiative, the cancellation of the new Perfect Dark game. Um, Spent millions, probably billions of dollars to build this studio, years of work, and now these people are without a job. They aren't moved around. This studio was closed, and people were laid off from their positions. So we also have the cancellation of Everwild. Um, it's just really crazy that Xbox is canceling titles from studios like Rare. And not to forget the now turned in into a support studio when they've delivered nothing but quality content over the last 15, 20 some odd years. Um, this is really just ridiculous, and it's getting to a point where I have a few different thoughts about what I think should happen in this situation. But um, no, so first off, I just want to say I'm sorry to all those folks that I know personally, and even the people I don't know, um, to be let go in this way where your performance was great, the titles that you've been working on and or delivered were great. It's just really messed up, and it's it sucks. And I think there's just so many. I understand. Luckily, I was able to release a game, but I understand there's people out there that you work years on a title. This may be your first game, and you can't even get the satisfaction of that game releasing and have your name on something that you spent years of your life working on. So, um, yeah, like honestly, I think a couple things need to happen. Um, Obviously, the issue is with leadership and not the people that are being let go. And as much of a fan as I am of Phil Spencer, uh, I think there's two things here. I think he needs to leave for one of two reasons. One, um, either he's just making some bad decisions. I know some of these things are coming from above him, so I want to give him the benefit of the doubt uh, in this moment. But two, uh, I think he needs to leave to preserve his legacy. I think over the last few years, his legacy has taken a hit. I don't think people are seeing him as nice guy Phil anymore. I know a lot of people know him personally that I am connected with, and they say he's a great guy. I worked under him. When I was let go, I sent him an email. He actually replied. Um, but we're getting to a point where we're wondering, okay, who's at fault? We continue to see thousands upon thousands of people lose their jobs, and we don't see any change in leadership. So, um, I don't know. Just wanted to get this out after a few days, kind of reaching out to people. And I know some people have been there for over 20 years that uh, no longer have a position. They might be in a little bit better of a space than someone who had just been there a few months to a couple years, just with the way that their severance packages work. But I mean, overall, this sucks. When I was looking for jobs in the gaming space, uh, in the space that it's already pretty hard to get into, they look for that work on previous titles. They look for the release of being on the title that actually has released. And I think so many people um, were robbed of that opportunity. And it's kind of hard in this moment um, to tell people to jump into the gaming industry outside of small to medium sized studios. Uh, People were huge fans of your PlayStations, Xboxes, large companies of that sort. And I don't think this is the time um, to try to get into those spaces. I think a little word of advice, at least at this moment, I would not move for some of these opportunities unless you have a lot of flexibility and a little money to back yourself up if things don't work out. Um, yeah, I think it's hard because everyone is moving back into the office and we're getting back to a point where it's not as easy um, to gain access to this industry. But yeah, really sad about all these canceled games. Like I said, these are only the few games that we know are canceled. So Forza Motorsport, we haven't heard anything about Horizon. Avowed, there was an MMO that was being worked on, another game with Ramiro Games. Um, and there's a few others we haven't heard about. Contraband, I don't think we've heard anything about that yet. So yeah, this is a really bleak time for the gaming industry, and it just shows that the even though many were excited when the acquisition of Activision was happening, it looks like Microsoft is looking for that recoupment, and I don't know if they fully understand how long that might take. Yeah, we're kind of seeing, in my opinion, the negative impact of that acquisition. But let me know what you all think in the comments below. Are you still supporting Xbox? I mean, again, between digital and physical games, some people are invested 20 some odd years into the ecosystem. So will you continue to play? Are you a little conflicted? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.